Alan's on, Chuck's on, Jonathan, John.
Remember Romper Room? Remember Romper Room at the end?
I don't know.
I see David and Jonathan.
Hey, Gary.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Gary
Good.
Robbins. Good God.
Yes, sir. Long time.
Gary. What happened to your hair?
Don't go there.
I shaved it.
I didn't actually lose it. It just came back in different places, strange places.
Like ears and.
Nice
Nice to see you.
Thanks. Likewise.
This is a great day.
Derek,
Whoever had this idea, is it David? A great idea.
Yeah, David's idea. And then Eric's chopped in, and everyone's chopped in to help.
I'm bored.
Garvin's
Sorry, I'm bored. I'm just going to work on this model here.
You're such a geek, you know, Gar.
I'm going to show you the fine arts. This is how you sand. Look,
What are you working on there, Gar?
I'm doing this.
Tank.
Oh, yeah, the Tamiya. Yep.
What's the main?
It's a Rodin kit.
Rodin.
Rodin, yeah. I know the wing nut's coming out, but I thought I better use up my old Rodin kits.
What is that, a Newport? What is that?
No, it's a dry decker.
Yeah, it's a Newport 17.
There you go.
What? What's a dry decker?
Harvey.
winding you up.
What is this? Vince is going to tell everybody what this is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dry decker.
What's your language? It's a Fokker.
Yeah.
All right. How many guys we got on, David?
We have about 21 right now.
Wow.
So.
Garvin's on. Hey, Chris, Chris, you can hear us, hey, Chris?
I can hear you. I'm not scared to.
Hey, there he is.
Yo, Chris.
Good.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, I can hear you, Garvin.
I think
Yeah.
is Harvey on? No, not yet. Okay.
Yeah, Harvey's on.
Is he? Okay. All right. Anybody
Which Harvey?
else? Harvey Weisberg.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, no.
Paul is on. Matt's there. Okay. All right.
Well, normally if we were in person, we'd probably have stragglers coming in about within about 5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
You guys send all your stuff to Eric, I hope.
Yeah, I got a few pictures this week. Not a lot. We got four or five bottles to go.
All right.
Beer straight out of a beaker. That's gotta rock.
Doesn't look great.
There's no carbonation. My plan for this is to actually, I made 6 gallons of this. So basically, So basically, I'm going to split it into 2 3-gallon batches, and one of the 3 gallons I'm going to add maple flavoring and coffee. So you get like a breakfast stout out of it. So. Anyway.
So make sure you send some. Make sure you send some down to your fellow IPMS chapters. Alan and I would be quite happy to.
Can we try one day?
Of course.
I think we have to unpack. We have to unpack the fact that there's breakfast involved here. You're drinking at breakfast.
Vince, I wasn't going to say anything. But
David, in the Yukon, they have one called the Midnight Sun, and it's a stout with coffee. And that way you can be awake and thoroughly obnoxious.
Yeah, at the same time.
It's a morning stout.
Seems perfectly logical.
Yep.
Okay, let's. I guess we should start because we'll have like a few people coming in. It's now like 20 to 8. So I think what we were going to start with. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Harvey, I think you were going to do a presentation. Then we're going to do kind of like on the tables or vice versa.
Does not matter. What is the preference?
Eric, I think.
What do you want? What do you guys want? I'm going to take about 20 minutes.
Well, I'm going to go on mute. I think it's probably a good idea.
All right.
If you're not having a talk.
Why don't we save the best for last? Why don't we save the show and tell for later?
That's good. Yeah, that's okay.
I vote for not listening to Harvey at all.
Okay, so now we haven't done this before. Do I get control of my? I've never done this. I
just changed you to the host, so now you should be able to share your screen.
And what do I do to? Just hit the share screen button.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I guess I'll start. Yeah. Good to go.
Go ahead.
I'm going to be showing some pictures on my not those kind of pictures, guys. I'm going to be showing some pictures on my about some a couple of trips I've made to Japan, and I figured I'd share some of the military museums in Japan. So we'll start with that. Okay, so now I'm going to share. Now, when I hit share screen, it says share. Do I do that then?
Yeah, you select the screen you want, then you hit share.
Got it. Oh, I got it. All right, everyone see this?
Yep.
Okay. There's going to be. I'll try to be quick. I'm going to go through. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 5 museums that I visited while in Japan on 2 trips over the last 2 years. Of course, they're all shut down right now. First one I'll go through is the Hikawa Maru, which is the one of the only. Well, it's the only Japanese merchantman left that's floating, and it's a museum in Yokohama. Then I'll give a brief overview of the Mikasa, so Jonathan would like that. A quick overview for the armor buffs. I was at the Japanese Ground Self-Defense Force Recruitment Center, looking at some of their armor pieces. And then I'll go over to the Kier Naval Yard Museum, which is down near Hiroshima. And then I'll save the best for last, which is the rather controversial Yushikan Yasukuni Shrine Military Museum in Tokyo. The other one I didn't add because it's getting a little too long for the car buffs. I did visit the Car and Sports Museum, the Racing Museum in Tokyo, but I'll save that for a new time. So I'll just start with a couple of pictures of the Hikawa Maru. Jonathan, you obviously know about these vessels. These were the ships that the Japanese Navy used to transport cargo, fuel, food, and troops across the Pacific. This one is again in Yokohama. I did not know she even existed. I was literally walking down Yokohama, just looking at the sites, and I saw this ship in the distance, and that doesn't look new. And wow, it's the Hikawa Maru. It was a hospital ship that was used by the Japanese Navy in World War II, and it's still there. So this is what she looks like now. And now all I got to figure out now is how to move forward. How do I move forward?
Double click on the image.
I guess.
Yeah, double click on the image, and then there'll be a little arrow key.
Yeah, there should be an arrow key.
Okay.
So have you double clicked?
Yep, it just gets bigger.
Okay, do you use 2 monitors?
No, just one.
Let's give it a sec. Yep, there you go.
Hey, there you go.
And then now when you press your arrow key,
there you go. There we go.
You'll be able to move between. Yep, there you go. Perfect.
Okay, so this is what she was repainted after the war back to this finish, which is what she was in the livery of in the 1930s, and she's fully restored. She's actually seen as a good luck ship. A lot of people get married on this boat because it was the only one to survive of pretty well any Japanese cargo vessel. They were all sunk by the Allies during the war, so she's the only one afloat.
It might be because she had a red cross on her too.
Probably, yeah. At the beginning she didn't, but yeah, that could be it.
Green cross.
See, the insides are basically what she was, and she's like the Japanese destroyer Yukikaze. She was the only surviving one of hundreds of Japanese cargo vessels. They're all at the bottom of the Pacific. So this is what she looks like. Amazing, just beautiful condition of the ship. And she's now used to host parties. And again, it's all pretty well original. See, the wood's beginning to flake off, but she's still all original.
Harvey, would that have been gray during the war?
Yes, she was in 2 liveries, one overall gray and probably camouflage, and then overall white with big red crosses. This scheme is what she was in the 1930s, right?
Harvey, where is this again? Is this Tokyo?
This is in Tokyo. This is in Yokohama.
Okay.
Harvey, how did they do that weathering effect? Like hairspray?
Hairspray.
Wow, 1930. Look at that.
Yeah, only one surviving.
Notice that the telegraph was in English.
Yes, exactly. I mean, a lot. Jonathan, a lot of these ships were from English. They learned from the English, and some of them were built by the English.
Or Scotland.
This is the insides of the engine room.
Whoa.
That's
Scotty,
in good shape.
What?
That's in really good shape.
It's in very good shape, yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of these ships. There she is in her World War II livery. And
was she used as a hospital ship, or was she a cargo dressed as a hospital ship?
At the beginning, cargo, and then shifted over to a hospital ship. I think, Jonathan, you're right. Once they put the red crosses on, the Allies probably,
Yeah. Well, the story with the Australians up in Papua New Guinea, they had a lot of respect for the Japanese naval aviators.
Right.
They would not attack a hospital ship.
Right.
But the Japanese Army did.
Oh, is that right, eh?
Oh, yeah. The Aussies pretty pissed off in Darwin about it.
Okay, let me just back out of here and start on the Mikasa.
So, Jonathan, just so it's clear, the Japanese Army would attack Japanese Navy.
No. When they attacked the Australians.
Now everyone can see the Mikasa.
Wow.
Now this is not in Yokohama. It's in Yokosuka, which is about 3 hours south of Tokyo. And she survived because she was so far south. None of the Allied raids basically damaged this vessel because they were all after Tokyo. And she's still moored in her original berth down in Yokosuka. Yokosuka is where the Japanese Naval Academy is. And just a short story, I was walking around the naval base there, and on the street just outside a noodle house, there was one of these, I guess, Japanese ensign, and I walked up to him and started to talk to him. And we started chatting. He noticed my Canadian Forces wristwatch. I noticed his Japanese Navy wristwatch, and so we traded. So I thought I got the better deal out of it, but we traded wristwatches, and so I still have his. So I got a nice Japanese Naval Academy wristwatch. This vessel, here is the original wood. They actually saved a part of her deck and never touched it. So if you guys are building the Mikasa, I got a ton more photos. This is the original, kind of like a red oak wood, that if you are going to do the model, this is the color it should be.
Like mine.
This is just examples of how they use the crew at the gunnery stations, right? The ship's in pretty good condition. And she was, of course, famous in the Russo-Japanese War, right? At the Battle of Tsushima, where they basically creamed the Russian Navy. Say, there's Admiral Togo aboard this ship. They're very nationalistic. I tried to raise a Canadian flag, but they didn't like that idea. These are the guns. See their open mounts, see? Right? I'm sure that when we went through rough seas, there was a lot of water coming through. They got a lot of neat movies over there that we never see here. This is one that they have on the Mikasa. It's actually not bad. I bought it, and it's kind of like it shows you basically here how they fought, maneuvered. There's a lot of stuff in Japan they just don't get over here.
Matt.
Yeah.
Matt, were they going to turn this into a space destroyer?
No. Wrong one.
Wrong one. Okay, sorry.
She's in pretty good shape.
Gorgeous shape. So is this technically pre-dreadnought?
Yeah, I would think, Jonathan? You do better.
Yeah. But it was one of the U.S. admirals that convinced them they should restore it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's an interesting, I can't remember it all, but it was after the war. It was like, no, you need to keep this. This is part of your history, pre-WW2.
Yeah.
And I forget which one it was. But he had a significant role in convincing them that this should be kept.
Well, I'm glad they did.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's that many pre-dreadnoughts around, John.
Well, there's the Greeks have got one. Yeah, there's not a lot. It's,
What's that mean, pre-dreadnought? What is that? What's that
before
in English?
Dreadnought was launched.
HMS Dreadnought.
What's
kind
that?
of changed. Dreadnought was, Jonathan, you take it.
Yeah, Dreadnought was the first of its kind. And, I mean, obviously by the name as well. But it was the first fully armored ship that was kind of like where the guns were set fore and aft. And then anything armored was within a certain zone, so it could save the weight and the rest of it. Before that, And also, you'd have like a myriad of different calipers on Mikasa, whereas on Dreadnought, you might only have 2+ anti-aircraft eventually. So it was a total difference. And the problem with it became is that because, you know, older navies had all sorts of old stuff, it created a huge arms race because everybody started from square one. They didn't have any.
Right, right.
So after the Dreadnoughts, that was it. You know, after one.
Right. So you see the deck is pretty bashed up. That original photo I showed you was the part, yeah.
Harvey, notice that the pattern is wrong on the deck. You see, every other one has a joint.
Yeah.
A real ship never has that.
Ah, so that's why they saved that original deck area. Yes, yeah. I get it.
Never join it that way. It's not as structurally good.
Jeez, Jonathan.
And the other one is on the Greek ship. I was teasing one of the naval guys there that's not the original deck because the pattern was wrong. And he didn't believe me, so I took him into the section of the ship where they saved the old deck.
Same like here. Got it. Makes sense.
And he realized, yeah.
Because why would they keep these are all exposed to the elements, right?
Right.
So that makes total sense. All right, so I'll just.
What's the size of those guns in the main battery? It's 14 or 16?
No, they weren't 16, Jonathan. They were a lot less, right?
11?
Yeah, I would think 11, 12 inch.
Yeah, maybe 12.
Now,
yeah,
in the ship,
you're right. They're not that big.
Get a load of this. Inside the ship is a mini museum.
Oh, nice.
Look at the models. Like, watch this one. Look. Like some guy or club. But look at that.
Wow.
This case goes. It's probably at least 100 feet. And every Japanese naval vessel from, I guess, the 1870s up to 1945, every one of them is in these cabinets.
Wow, they beat you to it, Harvey.
I don't know who did them, or maybe.
But wasn't that the whole point of, John, you can back me up on this, but when Tamiya and Oshima and Fujita, they all got together and said, we're going to settle on 1/700. You do these ships, you do these ships, and you do these ships.
Well,
and there's very little overlap.
Very little. And look at these. These are obviously scratch built because they're all 700, but these are all like Russo-Japanese War, so a lot of these are scratch built. There's the subs. Like it's
what
just
scale of the subs, Harv?
They're all about 1/700, I believe.
Well, they must be tiny.
Yeah, they're tiny. Look.
Whoa.
Like it's impressive. Everything the Japanese do is oh my God, over the top.
Yeah, sure.
Now these are the bigger models. They're about 1/350, 1/200 scale. These are scratch built.
Right.
This is inside the ship. That's the officer's mess. The captain's, I guess.
Quite elegant.
Yeah.
Do they film movies on this thing? They must.
Yeah, they have actually, Gar. They have.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's the naval uniforms at the time. Look at the ceiling work. The
Wow.
ceiling work is cool. And look, the guns are actually in some sort of, I don't know, cruise.
It's like a waiting room with a gun.
Yeah. Some more models.
That's my doctor's office.
This is kind of cute. They got these little terminals here that you sit down and you control the ships in the battle. A lot of kids play with this and they start to shoot at the Russian. It's like a computer anime.
Yeah. On the armament, she had 2 twin 12-inch, 14 16-inch, 20 12-pounders, 6 3-pounders, 6 2.5-pounders, and 4 torpedoes too.
Wow! Wow!
So,
Harvey, you're going too fast. Go back a few. There was a model that just looked amazing.
This one?
What is that?
This, by the way. Sorry, yeah. Stop me if I'm going too fast. This model is huge. I would say that this one's at least, I'm guessing 1/72nd, 1/6.
No, 148.
148. I think you're right.
It's a builder's model.
Yeah, like Admiralty scale.
It's a new Airfix release. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's by Meng.
That's the course that the Mikasa, I guess, charted through all her history.
No, that's the Russian Black Sea Fleet.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry, you're so good. They started over. That's right. They started in the road here. And
but you see where it says number 3?
Yeah.
That's where they thought they were attacked by Japanese Torpedo boats.
Right, you're right. My mistake. And then this is ending up in the Battle of Tsushima over here.
Yeah. Cool.
A lot. Oh, this is the original chrysanthemum crest.
Yeah, yeah. Wood, clearly.
Signal flags.
Yeah.
These are pictures of the actual crew and the ship at the time. There's the potties. Like I'm going quick because I have a ton more and I just don't want to go through all of them, right?
Yeah, no.
This is a souvenir store, so they get all the little Japanese kids to kind of like you groom them, right? The first word they learn at birth is bonsai. You know what I mean? So
You should post some of these to the Facebook for your group, for the club.
Yeah, I should do. There's the original deck.
Yeah.
You're right, Jonathan. I see it.
I agree.
They have parties here, you know.
Wow.
Very nice. Like it's all exposed to the elements, so she's pretty well kept. And I will end it there. And
Check out all the photos.
I still got a few more to share. Hold on.
There you go. Yep, you got it.
This is I happened to stop by a recruitment center in north of Tokyo, about an hour out, and they let me in to take a couple of pictures of some of their armor, which is
nice.
Right. I mean, if you're into Japanese ground self-defense armor, well, it's kind of okay for me, but it's more modern stuff. But these will just whip through pretty quick. I don't know this stuff. It's all modern stuff. I don't know it. So if anybody is an enthusiast, I can send you pictures. I think this is some sort of amphibious vehicle that lays mines. Oh, by the way, I can't play this. It's a movie. Can I play this movie?
Sure.
Yeah, you can give it a try.
What are those jet engines on top, or are they loudspeakers?
They're loudspeakers.
Did you hear that?
No.
No.
Did you see the movie or hear the music? No.
No.
No, I saw the movie.
Saw the movie. No sound.
Oh, okay. Well, picture, if you will, they're blasting Japanese music through these two big speakers. You see these military vehicles, and it's like right out of the 1930s. They're trying to recruit new people into the Japanese naval.
That'll do it.
They still do. They still do things the old way.
Yeah.
Look
for opportunities off-world.
Yeah.
Yeah. That looked like a 109 back there.
Yeah, it didn't it? Yeah. That's me wearing one. It's me wearing. Yeah, it's kind of like a Hummer, but they're all their own design. That's me wearing one of their infantry packs. These vehicles were used by the Japanese Defense Force in Afghanistan. Okay, let's see if I can do this.
Did they have to get special dispensation? Because I didn't think the Japanese.
I don't know.
Are allowed. Right? I mean, they're not allowed to be offensive in any way.
That's correct.
You know what I mean?
That's correct.
Offensive in the sense, yeah, funny. Okay, let it go.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys see? You guys all see this? No?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. This is the Kyoto Naval Museum in Hiroshima, which is it's actually about 2 days outside of Tokyo, and this is a model of the Yamato.
Only a couple hours on the train.
Yeah, it's about 8 hours on the Shinkansen. It's actually pretty far away.
Less than that.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It was pretty close.
You know what? I took a cruise, so I really don't know.
Yeah.
Have you been there, Sugen?
Yeah.
You've been to the Kyoto Museum, the Kyoto Museum?
Yeah, I've been into what we're looking at right now.
Good.
Is this the one that's 1/10 scale?
Yes.
Yeah.
120.
Oh.
It's 1/10.
Yeah, huge. I was in Hiroshima, but I didn't know that museum was there till I got home.
Well, yeah, it's not in Hiroshima. You have to take a 20-minute cab ride there. Yeah. But there's a neat little hobby shop. It's quite neat, north of there by about 2 blocks.
I went there too, on your recommendation.
You're such a loser like me.
Yeah.
These are some of the items that they found in the wreck.
Oh, cool.
So that's the original, I guess, tile? right? There's more stuff they found in the, I guess, in the wreck. And Sugan, you want to add anything? Be my guest.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Now these are models there, obviously. These are fairly big, so they're not kits. They're obviously scratch built. That's the Japanese crew feeding the, whatever the.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
No, they're nicely done. Whoever built these. Go ahead.
Why would they be using coal?
I have no idea.
Well, if you go back, they're stoking something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they used fuel oil. That's why they invaded the East Indies.
I really don't know why they got
that's not Yamato. That's another ship.
That's probably another ship. Yeah.
Yeah.
Photo of it.
Yeah. That's an aviator's helmet. There's the, that's the carrier Akagi? Yeah. These are all nice little models. They're fairly big. What is that? That is the Mogami?
It's a cruiser.
Yeah. That's the E400, I think.
Yeah.
The place is just full of models.
Yeah.
And they're fairly big, eh? So again, look at the person, look at the size of the models.
Yeah.
These are the suicide subs.
They had a lot of big interactive displays as well, like going through the entire history of World War II, at least from the Japanese perspective.
That's right. They had these simulators that you kill the American imperialist aircraft coming at you, and that's the joke.
Yeah, on the other side, this is a 0, right?
Yes, there you
Yeah.
go. Oh, what timing? What timing?
Yeah.
Hey, wait, go back. I want to see that 0. Nice. That's a late Type 5.2?
Yeah. Yeah,
52. Type
5.2, yeah.
Late one, right? With a
late one.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Engine detail for you aircraft buffs.
Ooh.
Like, I mean, if you go to these museums, it's a heaven for us guys, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's part of the culture.
Yeah. Kika.
Kika.
Yeah, Kika.
Yeah.
There's the engine.
Tiny.
That's the big 1/10 Yamato again.
You say Yamato, and I say Yamato.
What's cool is on the outside. Harvey, did you get some shots from the outside?
Yeah.
Of the building, so they have the replica 18-inch guns.
Yes.
On the outside.
That's right.
That it was just leftover sets from the movie that they made.
That's correct.
They're full size guns.
Do I have a picture of it here? I can't.
Of the barrels.
Look at the size of this thing. I'm standing right there taking a picture of it.
Notice on the rudder, the strengthening pieces. You go back to the rudder.
Yeah, yeah. Jonathan, you know these little details.
Oh, yeah.
This is the
hobby shop.
The bookstore hobby shop.
Yeah.
So if you can gather, this is 1/600 for $20. These are Fujimi full haul. They have all the full haul stuff. They're about $30 US.
You can also buy a built Yamato 135.
Yes.
1/350.
Yes.
I think it came out to about I think 400 Canadian. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. You can also buy a 1/100. You put it together, it all lights up. A Japanese submarine, but it's very expensive. See, these are the toys that you can buy there. Yeah. So this is the 1/250 Yamato, right? By Otaki Arii.
Oh, jeez.
And it's $106 to give you a sense.
Our dollar's gone a lot lower, Harvey. So.
Yeah. Now look at the freaking kids. Like if you're into ships, you're gonna have a major I looked at this and go, oh my god. What a paradise, eh?
Yeah.
Look at that. Hobby shop.
There's the anchor. There's the gun.
There it is, yeah.
Holy cow.
Across the street is the Japanese Naval Museum. I didn't go in there because I'm less into modern stuff, but All right, well, down there. And now I'm going to shave. Okay, that's it, gentlemen. And then maybe we can get on to the good stuff and look at your models.
Okay, good stuff, Harv.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm gonna pass it over to Eric so he could start doing the show and tell.
Sounds good.
So, where are we going here? Make cost there. Change. What's do? All yours.
Now, which screen am I sharing? This guy over here. Okay. Let's start it off here. We still have Garvin on? This was his.
Garvin, you're there? Yeah, he's on.
There.
Ah. Garvin, you there? What is it, Garvin?
Talk to us.
He's on.
Garvin, you're muted. You have to unmute yourself.
You got to unmute. Unmute yourself, Garvin.
Sorry, guys.
There you go.
There you go, Garvin.
Anyway, it's called a dugrum. Actually, if you can, I've actually fully decoed it this afternoon. So if you can turn over the movie set to me, I can actually show you the finished product now.
Oh, very cool. How tall is that, Garvin? How tall is the model?
It's really small because, as you can see, it's actually 1/44 scale.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually about palm sized.
Ah, okay.
Let me see if.
You won't be able to share your screen, Garvin, unless we give you the. No,
yeah.
The hosting duty. So let's. I think we're good. Yeah.
Okay.
My brother's name was Douglas Ingram. How about that? That's like a combo.
I see that. Two.
All right, who's up next here? Oh, this was.
Paul.
There it is.
Oh, hey, Paul.
There you go. So these are these. I'm sure remembers these Airfix multi-pose figures they have probably in the 70s.
Yeah.
And I had this line, or I didn't have most of the parts stuff, but I had enough to build this figure. So let's see, Africa Core, and I think they've also re-released these. I think recently you can actually buy these again.
Oh.
And they were kind of cool at the time. I remember they came with little decals for the badges and stuff, which I've since lost. But anyways, and I just to keep with the the retro feel, I got some Humbrol paint that was probably at least 30 years old, and I painted the uniform with the Humbrol paint.
Oh, that's cool. Very nice. But this is the only figure you got done, right? Other part.
Yeah, I didn't have enough of the rest of the parts for the other figures.
What scale is that, Paul?
Those are 1/32.
I remember I put together the Japanese set, and then I doused them in lighter fluid, and I was screaming, "Die, Japanese, die!" And my parents thought I needed some help, but I'm fine now as an adult.
Well, I think you can re-buy them again. They re-released some of those kits, so you can get them again, I think.
Yeah, you can.
Relive your memories. Oh, there you can see Garvin showing off his.
Oh yeah, very nice. I see the size. Okay.
Been a busy guy today. Yeah, that's tiny. All right, we had another one. Oh, Paul, this is yours again.
Yeah, it's this helicopter. I've been working Iroquois helicopter. So I finally got the decals on it, and they weren't the greatest. The fire extinguisher decal was almost translucent. When I put it on there, it wasn't yellow. It was like olive green. So I kind of hand painted over it. And they did have decals for the back by the tail boom. So I'm glad I painted that because the decals are not that great. And it's kind of a work in progress. Unfortunately, I had the windows masked, and then when I was taking the masking tape out, I ripped the control panel off.
Oh no.
And then it became like one of those ship in a bottle kits trying to get the it glued back in. It barely even fit through the window, but after a while I got it glued back in.
So what scale is it, Paul?
That's 1/72. It's a Hasegawa kit. It's not the best kit, but I saw it at a show. It came with Canadian markings, so I thought, well, that's pretty cool. But some of the other kits, like Revell, has better kits of the same model. It's still a work in progress because it didn't even have an interior. I had to scratch build the interior. It was just empty.
Oh.
And then the doors don't really fit. So if you have the doors closed, you're gonna have to do some shim work. So I decided, well, that's too much work. I'll keep the doors open.
Very nice.
That's good. Yeah, you've been showing us more progress every month, so it's good to see. Good to see it making its way through. All right, this was Stuart, right?
And that's the fly model finish the Italian version of the G50. So I tried to do the Italian camouflage, which is very difficult to do with just the airbrush. So I kind of cheated because what I did was I painted it at the light tan, and I first tried to do it in freehand, the sort of the brown, but I was overspraying too much. So what I eventually did is I took the blue tack, and I just kind of put it around where I didn't want the paint to go, and I tried to spray down so it still gets a bit of a feathered effect.
Ah.
So eventually then I covered the brown up and I had the tan up. So I did is just sprayed it over with the green.
Nice.
And then just took all the blue tack off just to see what it looked like.
Yeah, that's not cheating. That's math. That's an effective.
It's the only thing that is a little bit upsetting to me is you know, when you get, there's another pic that has a little closer view of it. You don't see the feathered effect, which I really wanted to get. So the next time I'm going to try one, I'll try and redo it all by hand and get a feathered effect. But I have another kit, and I want to do the finished version of it.
Nice. That's a new kit, right, Stuart?
Yeah, it's now about 2 years old, I guess, more or less.
What scale?
172.
Yeah, because your only choice back in the day was the old Airfix kit, which was a disaster. But
yeah, if you look hard enough, you could probably find a 148 scale. But
there was Sector did a kit.
I don't know.
Hasegawa took it over, but it's got some errors in it. Hey, that's life.
Yeah. But also the panel lines on the yellow cowling, all that was rescribed.
Oh, really?
Because it's in two pieces. So you know, putting together and getting the cut mark out. Eventually, I took too much out of the panel lines, so I just rescribed all the panel lines of the yellow of the cowling.
Nice.
All right, next up we have one of Garfield's.
Oh, Gar! Wow.
Yeah.
Hello.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is, I think I was beginning this last month, and it's really just sort of a palette cleanser between a major project. It's 1/72nd scale, special hobby, Northrop Nomad.
That's fabulous.
And it's a target tugs, and it was actually used in Quebec. And yeah, it's basically out of the box, and just had some fun with it. I've been building a bunch of British Commonwealth Air Training Plan aircraft, and just because I like the splash of yellow and amongst all my gray airplanes.
You don't see these built.
Yeah, you know, it's a beautiful airplane. It's very 30s. Like, it's typical. It almost looks like a cross between a Harvard and a Dauntless or something. And yeah, so it was kind of just a fun to do. But 72nd scale is great just because it makes you kind of sharpens you, you know, to do larger scale.
Absolutely, that's great.
It's a bit like a Vindicator, Gar.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's a bit of everything, eh? So
yeah,
very 30s, very 30s.
Very nice.
Yeah, so basically out of the box, nice little kit, you know, special hobby. So there's no locating pins, but it's really sort of an exercise in masking.
Those are the kit stackles, Gar?
No, I painted all those on with using mask, using my Cameo Silhouette stencil cutter.
Oh.
So the 53, the small number 3496, that's decal, but all the rest of it is all stencils. It's just so much easier to do it that way. The black, the yellow is a mix of my own. It's going to be yellow. You can see on the cowl it's slightly different than the ailerons, which are slightly different from the rest of the airplane. So I've got about 3 or 4 yellows on there, and I mix all my own colors from primaries. And the black is a little bit off black. It's like I think it's rubber black by Tamiya. And then all the tail markings, it's all sprayed on.
Gorgeous.
Looks good.
Looks good. Oh, there's one on the underside.
Oh,
yeah, there's
nice.
the underside. So you can see you can do this sort of fun stuff with silhouette mask. It's just so much easier. You just stick them on, spray basically stick them on. You can spray your markings on and peel them all off, and voila. No decal film, no nothing.
No, it looks like a Dauntless.
Yeah, it looks like that. Yeah, I put some oil paint. Just kind of use oil paint right out of the tube. Yeah, for those holes there, and then wiped it off, and had to do it a few times. Gives a little bit of relief.
Yeah.
Really nice surface detail on this kit.
Mm-hmm.
Garfield, did you make the masks yourself?
What's that?
Did you make the masks yourself?
Yeah. I use it's called a silhouette cameo cutter. It's maybe I can show it to you.
Did you buy that from like Michael's, Gar?
I sell them. Yeah.
Do they sell them, Alan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the cricket, very similar.
Cricket. I did a cricket. Harv and I worked together on that cricket for the Z1007.
You can
There's
get
a cameo. There's the Cameo 4.
Yeah, this is
came
out. Something or other.
I got mine from Amazon.
Yeah, okay. They're really handy, aren't they?
Yeah, they're great.
So what actually does the cutting?
It's a little tiny little sharp little blade that's in there, and it kind of goes.
It's a computer controlled. Think of it as a computer controlled knife.
Yeah.
How much?
Basically, they've been used in the craft scrapbook industry for a while. They go from about 150 and up. There's a very good Facebook group that covers all that, and they have a lot of patterns and stuff like that. Yeah,
Tony Bell is a moderator, so just send him a note and he'll put you in. That's how I got it.
Yeah, it's very cool.
What's the name of it again?
It's
I'll tell you in a sec.
Silhouette Cameo.
And you can buy them on Amazon, I heard. You can buy them at Michael's?
Michael's. Costco has the cricket maker.
Costco, really?
Yeah.
And I went into Curry's and bought a
Where's Facebook?
Oh yeah, and Michael's right now has a 30% off coupon online until the 28th, I think.
But that doesn't usually cover those.
Yeah.
No?
No.
It doesn't cover the cutters.
No.
Hey, hang on, guys. Garfield's talking. Sorry, Garfield. Say that again. You were away from the mic. We
That's a
didn't hear
lifetime
you.
supply of frisket film that comes that I use for it. So
Ah.
I cut off a section, and like this is a rally, like that's a ton of material. I got that from Curry's.
Wow.
So I just picked this up. Harv, remember when I was looking for the grid markings on the Tamiya film? I just got this from Panda.
What'd you get?
So it's the Tamiya masking film, but this one has the millimeter markings on it.
Yes.
So the beauty of the markings is that when you cut out whatever it is, a number or what have you, the grid is there to help you line it up. So for anyone looking for the Facebook group, and I suggest, where did it go? Hang on. I will tell you the name of the Facebook group is called The Cutting Edge Scale Modeling Plotter / Cutter Users, and there's 1,700 members. Essentially, it's people just talking about different ways that they use their cricket or silhouette or brother. I mean, there's other machines as well. You know, people share tips, horror stories, the whole bit.
It's cool.
Some of the blades that you can buy are deep cutting blades, so they can actually cut through thin sheet styrene.
Yeah, that's correct. I've put the link to the Facebook page in the chat. Yeah, that's something else. The model railroaders use that quite a bit. They'll use the thicker cutter ones. But what's good about this group is they've got an ever-growing file section. And I think I heard on one of my podcasts recently or something recently, there's another, someone's setting up like a repository of patterns. Let me see if I can find that and I'll let you guys know.
Thanks.
Yeah, they use special files. I forget what the extension on it is.
Yeah.
You need to, it's kind of like a vector-based thing.
It's like a 3D printer file, but 2 dimensions.
Yeah, and it's so handy. I tell you, if you can get fonts and all that, you know, you just get a British font, you just write in the number and away you go.
Harv, Garfield, in the case of the Z1007 for Harv, it was such an obscure airplane. I ended up retracing, like I just took the GIF file in and traced over it and created an SVG. Ultimately, they all speak SVG, right? Scalable vector graphic.
Okay. See,
you used an existing typeface, or did you trace those numbers?
I've done both. You know, I sort of cobbled them together, and like Photoshop, I know well. I just can't get my brain into Illustrator and vector graphics. I got to take a course because I need some extra brain cells to get it. And I'll be okay. So if I can find a font or a symbol online and just drag it into the thing, great. It's easier.
Yeah.
Because I don't use this cutter all that much, so I kind of have to like relearn the software every time. So I'm kind of like a monkey. I press right button, I get a banana. So, but I'll show you. Let me show you this other one I did. Where is it? Here it is. Oh, I took it off. Never mind. All right. Okay, here it is. Yeah, this is a 144 scale rocket. I don't know if you can see this,
Yeah, I
but
can see
these
it.
are tiny little letters that they did. See the United States Air Force?
Oh yeah.
And these are tiny, tiny, tiny. These are
Wow.
only about, I don't know, about 3 millimeters high.
Huh.
So you get really good resolution with these things, with these cutters.
Really?
See that A there? It's like, it's really good. Wow. Yeah, it's a good camera, eh? So, you know, this is a small model, right? Anyways.
Garfield, this airplane had a fixed on the carriage?
The Northrop? No, it was retractable. It was one of those bays, and they had those funny discs cut out there. Right where your cursor, right where the cursor is, I should have a toe, like a trapeze thing where the toe cable went. Bad me, I should put that on there. So, anyways.
Talk about your next one here, Garfield. So these are in the order kind of
Yeah.
in progress.
So I'm really a World War I guy, I guess. So the Wingnuts camel. And this is kind of just one of the progress shots. I had this on a hyperscale plastic fix, if anybody's seen it there a while back. But anyways, lovely kit. Yeah, that's sort of before and after. You know, I mask all the ribs. I'm actually doing that right now. Do a poker triplane. So actually, I'm putting these rib tapes on just to make them stand out a little bit. The Rogan kits don't have rib tapes.
Do you bury the rib tape in paint, or is the tape pulled away?
This is going. Well, you can see where I've actually I've got them on there, and I experimented. Put some primer on it. It's a primer coat, so they're just a little bit thicker. Now this is a different process. What I'm doing with a camel. The camel is a painting technique. The rib tapes are on there, like molded in, but I want them to stand out a little bit. So I've sprayed it, primed it with white, and then I masked off the ribs. Then I sprayed on the green, take off the rib tapes, those tapes, and then respray it with a very thin mixture.
Got it.
So if you go to the next picture, David, you'll see the. Go to the next picture.
Does that not create a depression where the tape was?
No, my paint's so thin, Vince. I use like go back one, David.
I'm missing something here.
Okay.
Yeah, this process is purely painting. The one I'm showing here is in order to get some thickness to the tape. So I've actually put a thicker decal rib tape on there, and I'm going to prime it and seal it in, and it's just going to give me that touchy-feely little bit of dimension.
Okay. So in that case, the tape is being buried into the paint.
Yeah. So the primer that I put on here is sealing all in there. Now, okay.
So how are these tapes? How are these tapes of the picture? How are they standing proud if you're removing them?
Well, no, I didn't remove them. Like, go back one shot, David.
Vince, it's like pre-shading.
It's pre-shading, exactly.
You're blending the colors after, Gar, right?
Yeah. So I painted it white. I've covered the thing. Then I'm going to spray it over with green. Then I remove these strips of tape, and then give a light spray over top.
Nice.
So that now you go forward one, David.
Okay.
So I go forward one. Yeah, there you go. So now you can see I've done the final painting on that.
Yeah.
But you can see the rib tapes are just still a little bit lighter. It gives you a little bit of dimension, you know, because it's kind of boring. The one.
Yeah. Now the only hard thing, Gar, right, is given you are a true artist, you have to make sure that when you're putting that coat on, it's even, right? You don't want some ribs not showing and others showing, right?
Well, I do actually, Harvey. You can see that there's a fair bit of modulation across from left to right, and I did that intentionally, especially to the right of the because these were hand painted aircraft, and then when you you know, when they start to fade, because some areas will be thicker, some will be thinner, you get this this effect across, and it also creates some interest.
Nice.
So, because I find a lot of airplanes, like World War I models, when they're done one solid color, they kind of die on the table.
Yes.
So you need a little bit of, you know, sparkle across the top.
Very good.
So I may have even coated this a little bit more. You kind of look at, but I want that unevenness. Like I want that hand done quality.
Now that you mention it, I see it. That totally makes sense.
Yeah. So you'll see it in real life too. It's even more subtle.
Well, let's hope until this damn COVID's over. Yeah, let's see it in real life.
Yeah. So there's it finished, and it was rigged with monofilament, and it's just a lovely kit. So that green, all these colors are all mixed from. I use black, white, red, yellow, blue. That's it. That's all I use for paints.
Really?
Yeah. So these are all mixed from primaries.
Wow.
So I made my own light version of the PC10, which is basically black and yellow, and that gives you green. Add a little tiny bit of red. So I play with the colors, and this black that you see on the nose. I went to London. I saw the real artifact of his vertical stabilizer in the Imperial War Museum, and I did some Photoshop kind of studies of it using to see what color it actually was. Turns out it was actually very, 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 very dark green, not black. So I hence mixed up black, put a bit of yellow in it, and there you go. So anyways, Barker's aircraft, which he flew. This airplane has more kills than any other airplane in World War One.
Now Barker is buried in Mount Pleasant Cemetery. You know that.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So I painted all these stripes on, and all the tail markings, all the everything's been painted on here.
He died in an air crash, didn't he?
Yeah, he was in Ottawa on an airplane called a Sopwith Dove, and he had actually had his right elbow was just completely missing.
Oh.
The bullet had taken his whole elbow out, so it was just like you know, rubber. And so he may have, who knows what happens. And you know, they were really heavy drinkers, him and Bishop, and alcohol and lack of joints could sort of make spin recovery a very difficult thing, especially at low level.
That's cool.
So you can just see his little devil on the starboard Vickers there. It's a little photo etched devil. It's kind of does this.
Oh yeah.
It's a you can still buy those. It's a racing car thing if you're into cars. So we stuck one on there as a gun sight, and the wing nuts included it. Really? The trickiest part of this was getting that little streamline doohickey right in the middle to get it centered. That was hard because you had to kind of.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah, trying to get it centered.
What is that?
They're trying to get the cable up above. You know, if you just go from corner to corner, it would hit the gun. So they raised up the center point, and they use that streamline clamp thing.
Very cool.
And then that's
What do you use
generated.
for line? What do you use for the rigging?
I use monofilament nylon, pre-stretch it. It's black, and then I went through last week about my techniques with the eyelets.
Yeah.
Most British aircraft didn't have turnbuckles, so this basically I buried one end into the wing. The other end goes up through a little loop and back again. And using a thing called Bob's buckles, so they really make it easy.
And where do you get this monofilament?
I went to just the fabric land, and but it was nylon. It's kind of pre-stretch it because a lot of monos will slacken in the heat and humidity. I went down to Atlanta Nationals one time, and everything was all like sagging. So you got to pre-stretch them, like you can feel it stretch.
Now, why wouldn't you use Easy Line?
Because it's a couple of things. It's really super fine, and then when you try to put it in a hole, it sort of goes. It seems to pick up the electrical field, so you're trying to get into the stupid hole, and it's going. I don't want to go. Right. And also Easy Line is another reason is it's flat, and so when you twist, you can see the twist in the wire, whereas monofilament is round.
Right.
And the other thing is that my rigging is structural, so when I put it through the loops, I pull it really tight. So you can pick up that model. This is from Ron Lowry, you know, so I make her model strong. And so I make the rigging is structural. So so I really put a lot of tension on it, and you got to be careful. You can twist the whole model doing that. You got to do one side then the other, back and forth.
Hey Garfield, what airbrush did you use? Sorry.
Oh, I just used an old clunker, a good old Pash H.
You still using that?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get my hand surgically removed and replaced with a Pash H. It's just, you know, but I've been doing a lot of hard edge masking painting, so I don't need a fancy thing that Harvey has, some Iwata, whatever that is. So, anyways, there you go.
Nice.
Thank you very
I
much.
just found the other site I was thinking about. It's called scalemodelpaintmask.com, and again, I put it in the group chat.
Thanks, Stuart. I saw it.
Thank you.
Guys, I've got a hard stop at
Yes.
9:30 here. So.
I think that's been great, guys. David, thank
I
you.
just have a
Eric,
question. I just have a question. Did anyone know Brano?
Yes, yes.
I went to his funeral this morning.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah.
I really like Brownell. Such a nice guy.
Yeah. He was barely 50 and he passed away, and it was really sad.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was ill, so my condolences to the family.
Yeah.
So, really nice guy.
It was IPMS Hamilton, right?
Yeah, nice guy.
Yeah.
I like Brownell.
It wasn't COVID related, was it?
No, he's had cancer for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How old was he, Alan?
50.
He was, he'll be 50 this year. 51 this year.
Wow.
Just goes to show, gentlemen, it's something I've got an article I've kind of drafted out about estate planning for model kit builders.
Send it along, Stuart.
Yeah, it'll be an IPMS event, Canada event.
Yeah, totally. We need that.
Yeah, it's something
right.
I've thought long and hard. Okay.
Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Hey,
guys.
guys.
Until next
Over and out.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Later. Bye. Jonathan, I'll get a hold of you tomorrow.
Take care, Vince.
Yeah. Take care, everybody. Ciao.